You're watching Local 6, home of ClickOrlando.com. Local 6 News starts now.
Breaking right now. Many people injured, some very serious after a propane plant explodes.
Ooh, did you see that?
Sending flames hundreds of feet into the night sky.
These little propane tanks, they are just shooting off like missiles right now. This is just going out of control. There goes another one right there.
Blast so powerful.
Literally, the shock wave and the heat threw me back like 3 feet.
They were felt miles away.
Here, all the way from Eustis.
Now efforts are underway to find the cause. What sparked this massive explosion?
It's definitely a dangerous situation.
That explosion forced the evacuation of nearby neighborhoods, but within the last few hours, families were actually allowed back into their homes. Good morning to you. It is now straight up 6 o'clock. I'm Eric Sandoval in for Matt Austin.
And I'm Bridget Ellison. Thanks for joining us. Within the next few minutes, we expect to get our best look at all that damage as the sun rises here in the next 10 to 12 minutes. Here's some new video, though, just in from Sky 6, which has been over the scene all night, where investigators are still working on figuring out the cause here. It's been more than 7 hours since the explosion rocked Lake County, and firefighters are still very concerned there.
Yeah, this is all unfolding at the Blue Rhino propane facility. It's on County Road 448 in Tavares, very close to several businesses and just blocks from nearby homes. We have live team coverage of this breaking news this morning. Reporter Sean Shiabot is learning more about this explosion. Omaka Obaka spoke exclusively with some of the survivors there.
And Evan Lambert is live at one of the 4 hospitals where victims are being treated. Nicole Pasecki has uncovered new videos of this blast.
I want to take a look, though, first at this explosion. It was so big that it actually showed up on our weather radar. You can see that green blotch there that picked up the change in temperatures on our radar.
And Sean Chabot joins us now from near the scene. Sean, you've been there all night long. Within the past few hours, you learned everyone has been accounted for. How are firefighters doing right now?
Well, right now they are still here. This is still very much an active investigation, but they do tell us that this area of the plant is now contained. The next big step, of course, though, is trying to sort out exactly what happened here, causing 8 people to be injured. Now, amazingly, no deaths, but for a while there was concern that 15 workers were missing and feared trapped in the fire. Eventually, though, all of the workers who were scheduled to have been at work last night were accounted for. Now, they ran for their lives after that first blast that happened around 10:50 Monday night. But what kept dozens of families evacuated and more than 200 emergency personnel at bay was the uncertainty of series of explosions that just did not stop for several hours. 53,000 propane cylinders, like you have in your backyard grill, were scattered all over this plant, and each one caught fire, set off a domino effect. Now, the initial explosion shook homes and businesses that were nearby, but then as those 20-pound tanks caught fire, they would just blast into the air. Witnesses told us that they thought those cylinders shot some 200 to 300 feet in the air. Now, several times it seemed like those explosions were over, but it just did not end for at least 4 hours. Here's what one witness worried about as that was all happening.
One time it was really big, then it died down, and then about, like I said, 5 minutes ago, it blew up again, even worse, and so it's got to die down again. Hopefully, maybe it'll keep dying down.
Is that a concern for you that keeps on reigniting?
Yes, because there's a bunch of firefighters and ambulances and MEMS workers all in there right now.
Now, thankfully, no firefighters or emergency workers were injured here. It did take a while before they could actually get close enough to the flames to battle that fire. That's because the explosions were just so unpredictable. But now they are close enough. They are going to be able to get inside this rubble, trying to sort out exactly what sparked this initial explosion. Back to you.
For that update, Sean.
As this whole ordeal was unfolding, there were worries that many of the workers may have died from this explosion. Emergency crews scrambled, though, to find dozens of workers who were missing after that blast, and they didn't have to look too far to find them. Reporter Omaka Obaka joins us now from where those workers gathered. Okay, apparently we just lost Omaka, but one of the workers apparently it was his first day on the job. He got to work, and his name was Bobby Hudson Pillar, and it was his first day working at that plant. We spoke to him. He was standing right by a grassy area just 2 miles from that plant. And he told Amaka that he ran for his life as soon as he heard that blast. Now, we have some video. This is it. Local 6 was first at that gas station where workers and family members stood in the grass. They were waiting to hear more details about their co-workers that led up to the explosion. Let's hear from one of those workers now. I believe this is Bobby, who is working his first day on the job.
I got up and I just blurred vision. I couldn't see nothing, couldn't hear nothing, and finally I could just, it was so bright from the explosions that we all just ran. I was running through the field over there, and you could just feel it coming from your back, the heat and the wave hitting you every time something blew.
Really gives some good insight as to what happened in the moments after this explosion. This is video we just got from an eyewitness who heard and saw the explosion in a nearby neighborhood. You can see the plume of smoke even in the distance there. People from as far away as Eustis and all the surrounding areas there actually saw that fireball and the smoke. We're also learning more about this facility destroyed by those powerful flames. According to records, the Blue Rhino facility in Tavares was established in 1994. This refills and distributes 20-gallon tanks of propane. These are the tanks that we use for our outside grills. The facility cleans those tanks, it refinishes them, and then refills them to be sent out to retail stores. Now, get this, we're told 53,000 20-gallon tanks were on those grounds on Monday, right before this fire broke out. Quite a scene out there, Bridget.
Right, Eric. And the time now is 6:06. We're also learning that when rescuers got the call, they were preparing for the worst. Take a look at some video Sky 6 shot overnight. You can see all the ambulances lined up ready to help out. Fire trucks and emergency crews packed every bit of space they could to be on standby. Reporter Evan Lambert is live outside Orlando Regional Medical Center this morning, where some of the injured have been taken for treatment. And Evan, how serious are some of these injuries?
Well, Bridget, 3 people are here at ORMC, and their injuries, their conditions are critical at this moment. I just got some new information from a spokeswoman here at ORMC. She's telling me that they do have a burn unit here, and obviously this is a level 1 trauma center, so that's why some of the most seriously injured did come here. We just watched an ambulance, actually now about 3 hours ago, come through these emergency doors here with the last of those patients. But I want to give you an overview of some of the other people that were injured. You heard my colleague Sean Chayabat say about 8 people were injured. We have been able to track down 6 at local hospitals. I mentioned 3 are here at ORMC, 3 men in critical condition being treated for burn injuries at this point. And then also there is 1 person at Shands Hospital in critical condition. That's in Gainesville. And 1 person was also treated and released from Florida Hospital Waterman. That's right near the scene of this explosion. And then another person, a final person, is at Ocala Regional Medical Center. And that person, we understand from a spokeswoman, is in stable condition. Obviously, that spokeswoman was telling me they do not have a burn unit there, so those injuries either were very minor burns or maybe not burn related at all. I'm going to be out here all morning making calls to all of those hospitals. Those other 2 people, 2 of those 8, we're going to find out if they just didn't go to the hospital or find out exactly where they are, and we'll share their conditions coming up here all morning. Back to you, Eric, Bridget.
All right, thanks for the update, Evan. And keep it here to Local 6-4, continuing coverage of this story. We expect to get some updates from emergency workers any moment. We're also posting new videos and new details on clickorlando.com. Be sure to refresh your homepage periodically for the very latest. And it's now 9 minutes past the hour. We're waking up to a beautiful morning despite this terrible news, but there are some chances of rain as